Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Eduardo Rodriguez will make his second start of the season. He's been dealing with a knee problem. He got hurt in spring training. He's wearing a new knee brace, and he had a win in his first start. Josh Donaldson is back in the lineup after missing yesterday's game with a bruised right hand. That's great news for the Blue Jays. Donaldson will play the DH role today. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup. Blue Jays are 3 games over 500, 30 wins and 27 losses. Josh Donaldson against left-handed pitching has torn it up this year, 17 for 52 with 7 extra base hits. He'll face a left-hander in Rodriguez today, and right behind him, Edwin Encarnacion. 2016 against Boston, he's hitting .311 with 4 home runs against the Red Sox. He had a home run here on Friday night, a 2-run home run. So the Blue Jays have their good lineup in against a young left-handed pitcher, Eduardo Rodriguez.
You mentioned he's making his second start of the season, his first here at Fenway Park. He began the season on the disabled list with right patellar subluxation, and in layman's terms, that is a partial dislocation of the kneecap. He was the 2015 Red Sox Pitcher of the Year when he went 10-6. He was also the Red Sox Rookie of the Year last year. In one start this year, he has thrown 6 innings against Baltimore and won that ball game. He's making his 3rd start versus the division rival Toronto Blue Jays. That's tied for the most versus any club. He's got a good fastball and a very good changeup.
The Blue Jays roughed him up here last year as they faced him. Same pitching matchup we have today, Marco Estrada and Eduardo Rodriguez. That was last June 14th right here at Fenway Park. Jose Bautista will step in. Rodriguez throwing out of a very abbreviated windup. Here's the first pitch of the game, up and away, and we are underway. Jose is 1 for 6 in the series. He's walked 3 times. For some reason, Chris Young, the left fielder, went over to the foul line to maybe throw something off the field. He's back in position. Ball 2.
Rodriguez has a very lively arm. They got him from the Baltimore Orioles for Andrew Miller, and really burst onto the scene last year with those 10 wins for the Red Sox. They were looking for big things from him this year, but he got hurt in spring training. It reminded me when I heard the story of the Marcus Stroman injury. It was in spring training. They were doing pitcher's fielding practice. He was working on some pop-ups. He was just running off the field.
High fly ball to the left. Young on the warning track, looking up. This ball is home run, top of the fence. That's a home run for Bautista. That's a no-doubter. It hit right on top of that lip above the green monster, and it's a home run. The umpire's now acknowledging that fact. It came straight down and landed right on top of that ledge up above the green monster.
Jose Bautista, he always seems to be good for at least one here in Fenway Park. He hadn't hit one yet in this series, and he gets this afternoon's ball game off to a good start.
23rd career home run here at Fenway Park. A first inning shot, and the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead as quick as you can. Home run number 12 for Bautista, RBI number 38. Josh Donaldson, we mentioned he missed yesterday's game with a bruised right hand. Upstairs.
Jose, well, one more time, but Rodriguez loves his fastball. He's basically a two-pitch pitcher, fastball and a changeup. That time a fastball out over the plate, right on top of the wall, and then bounces back into play. That's a home run. There's a red line that's drawn right across the top of the green monster. Anything above that is a home run, and Jose just got it over it.
Donaldson fouls it into the seats out of play. Well, the Blue Jays, they were all in tune to the first pitch, and Marcus Stroman helping the umpires out, saying that's a home run, man. And it hit up on that little table. There's a little bench up on top of the green monster, about 12-15 inches wide. It hit right on top of that. 1-2 to Donaldson. Inside, it's even at 2-2.
Well, Josh has been dealing with a thumb injury right on that top hand. And you see where that bat is really jammed back in between his thumb and his index finger. And if you're not hitting that ball squarely, that can really jam in there and cause you a lot of problems. And it wasn't just the other day that it started bothering him. It's been about a week or so that he's been feeling the effects of that. But you know him. He wasn't going to miss too much time because of that.
He re-aggravated that injury on Friday night against David Price. Price made a couple good pitches inside and really jammed Donaldson. He's walked a couple of times. He had a 2-run
Talked to some of the Boston people today, and they were saying, well, remember, that was because he was tipping his pitches. That was the big thing going around last year, that he was tipping his pitches, and everybody knew what was coming, and Ryan Goins can hit a 3-run home. Get back at him right here this afternoon.
Work.
Yes. Thanks, Mr. O'Brien. Here's today's Red Sox lineup. Leading off in right field, Mookie Betts. At second base, Dustin Pedroia. The shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. The DH, David Ortiz. At third, Travis Shaw. At first base,
Me.
In center field, Jackie Bradley Jr. In left field, Chris Young. The catcher, Christian Vasquez.
Very nice, Jonathan.
Thank you.
You too, Hanley.
That was cute.
Mookie Betts leading things off here.
Jonathan's coming after your job, OB. He didn't skip a beat when Hanley jumped in.
Sure did not. Mookie hitting .289, 14 homers, 45 runs batted in, and an 8-game hitting streak. Red Sox and Toronto, 6 apiece in the season series.
You know, they talk about the ace of the staff being Stroman yesterday. I don't think so. This is the ace of their staff, Estrada. He's been lights out this year. You see the 3-2 record, but the ERA, boy, should have much better record. Only hit a .177 off of him.
And very, very tough to hit. He hasn't allowed more than 8 hits in any of his 10 starts. Though the season high of 8 came in a loss to the Red Sox here at Fenway on April 16th, 4-2. It's gone to 3-2 on Mookie, who flares that one down the line but slices it foul. Let's go back to Jonathan and Hanley a moment ago. After he was done, a big old bear hug. Jonathan kind of disappeared in there. And up high for ball 4.
The Blue Jays defense brought to you by DraftKings. They are 6th in the American League with 31 errors in 57 games. Around the infield, third to first, Matt Dominguez at third. Barney at short, Travis at second, Encarnacion at first. In the outfield, Michael Saunders, Kevin Pillar, Jose Bautista. Behind the plate, Russell Martin catching Estrada.
So Betts aboard, Pedroia the batter. He's been red hot, a 12-game hitting streak for Dustin. And after going 1 for 3 with a double on Saturday, has now hit safely in 25 in a row against Toronto. And only Jerry Remy has a longer hitting streak against the Blue Jays at 26.
And the Red Sox are running wild this year, huh? 38 out of 43 stolen bags. I mean, that percentage is through the roof, and you see he hasn't been thrown out.
Bogarts on deck, 1-0 Toronto on the Bautista solo homer. Outside. Time now to see who's been driving the ball. Presented by Toyo Tires. Pedroia 12 in a row, hitting .392, including 6 doubles, 6 RBIs in the streak. Toyo Tires, the official tire of the Boston Red Sox.
Now you're going to steal your bases off of Russell Martin here. You try to figure out the times, but Mookie should be running. Martin has not thrown anybody out this year. He's just not getting it done.
Not running and foul back.
Now, he used to be a pretty good catch and throw guy, but this season, and it has a lot to do with your pitching staff and how well they get you the ball, but he's throwing base runners out at a percentage of 12%. That's not good. Mookie checking it out.
Estrada was very, very tough against the Red Sox in Toronto. He's not running, and that's pop foul out of play. Back in April, a 3-0 victory, and he allowed only 5 hits in 7 innings. He was really tough.
And it's that changeup. Everybody thinks just fastball changeup, but he's come up with a little cutter that's helped him with right-handed hitters. He'll throw a little curveball to left-handers occasionally, but he's really known for that changeup.
He's got tremendous arm speed on his changeup.
That's the cutter right there.
Cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Entering each day since May 3rd, the Red Sox have had at least a share of the longest active hitting streak in the majors. So that's going on for longer than a month. Jackie Bradley 29, of course Bogarts 26, and Ortiz and Pedroia right now at 12 in a row. High pop up, twisting back toward the stands. Martin heading over there along with Dominguez, but off into the box seats.
You can't dive in the stands anymore with that screen up there. Not that he could have caught that.
You also can't give up, too, because we all know how that ball will blow back towards the field of play. It was more fun when you'd see a catcher jump into the first row of the seats to try to catch one.
I saw Fisk go, he's 6'4". I saw him go all the way, fully extended, and get balls.
Look at Martin climbing the wall.
The 2-2. That clangs away from Martin on ball 3, and there's Mookie into second base and stopping there. You always got to look toward third when he's on the bases.
So our thanks to Dave O'Brien, Steve Lyons, and Dennis Eckersley for providing a temporary call of this game. We have solved the audio issues on location, so let's welcome back Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler.
Thank you very much, Jamie Campbell. We are in the bottom of the first inning. Full count to Dustin Pedroia. Betts goes to second on the wild pitch charged to Estrada. Back-to-back walks for Boston to start the ball game.
That is one thing that Marco has done really well this year. He has cut down his walks. Right now he's just pitching outside the strike zone. Last time out he had 3 walks and he had 4 against the Yankees the start before that. He says, I've got to cut those down. I think he's done a good job of that. He has pitched to contact. But right now, the Red Sox very patient against Marco Estrada.
Estrada has had a season-high 4 walks in 4 different games this season. Xander Bogaerts, he had his hit streak snapped on Friday night. And it made him mad. He came back on Saturday and got 3 hits yesterday afternoon. A double, 2 singles. He drove in a run and scored a run. He was 3 for 4 in the ball game.
82 hits already he has put up. That leads the major leagues right now. The last shortstop to lead the major leagues in hits, Derek Jeter, back in 2012 when Derek had 216.
Bogarts bunts it to Estrada. They got a shot at third. Get the force out back to first. Not in time. Good play by Marco Estrada. He got on it quickly because it was bunted right back toward the mound, and Matt Dominguez made a return throw to first, but not in time. They get the lead runner.
You know, that's the thing that's really impressive about the Blue Jays starting pitchers. They're all athletes. Not a good attempt right here by Bogarts, right back to the mound, but right away, Marco Estrada is all over that. He made up his mind that he was going over to third base. He gives a good throw to Dominguez, and to no avail back across the diamond because Bogarts runs too well. Marco Estrada helping himself out with the glove.
Marco Estrada very grateful for that bunt attempt. Last time he faced Bogarts in this ballpark, Xander hit a 3-run home run. I'm surprised he tried to bunt in the first inning after 2 walks. David Ortiz, big numbers against the Blue Jays this season. He takes the first pitch strike.
Well, he saw the third baseman back, so he was trying to drop it down in front of him. But I'll tell you what, the league's leading hitter.
No, you don't bunt.
I'm not letting him bunt.
No.
I think he did that on his own.
Strike 1 to David Ortiz. Pedroia at second, Bogarts at first. Now it's 0-2. Well, you talk about small things turning an inning around that could eventually turn a game around. Estrada made a fine play to get the lead runner at third. He forced Mookie Betts on that bunt attempt. Pretty good changeup there. Ortiz, we have mentioned what he has done against the Blue Jays this season. A .346 average. He's 9 for 26 with 5 doubles, a home run, and 6 RBIs.
Hey, it's not just the Blue Jays. He's been doing that against everybody this year. If you look at the leaderboard, he's all over it in the American League.
.342 average, 25 doubles, 16 homers, and 53 RBIs.
140 total bases, which leads the American League.
This ball is drilled to center. Pilar got a late break. He's able to make the catch. Boy, that's the toughest play for a center fielder. That line drive hit right at you. He froze for a minute to get an evaluation and then read it perfectly and runs it down.
I think whenever David Ortiz steps to the plate, you've got to take a couple of steps back if you're an outfielder, and that's what Pilar does. He's playing deep to begin with. Then you're right, that line drive right over your head, you're just not sure by the swing of the bat if it's going to drop in front of you or carry over your head. Pilar runs it down in center field and then gets the ball back quickly to hold the runners.
This is Travis Shaw, who moves up into the 5th spot against the right-hander Estrada. Better inside for a ball. Shaw batting .289 for the season. But his average against the Blue Jays jumps up to .326. He's got 14 hits against the Blue Jays, 5 doubles, 2 homers, and 11 RBIs.
Big numbers all the way around. Slugging percentage, on base percentage. What you have to do against the Red Sox, first time through, if you pitch him one way, you might have to change your second time through, and then you might have to change your third time through. The good news for the Blue Jays is Marco Estrada can do that because he's got so many weapons to get you out.
There's the ball ripped well, but well foul into the seats down the right side. Boy, if Marco Estrada can get out of this inning after walking the first 2 and then facing arguably the best hitter in baseball in Xander Bogaerts, he'll dance all the way into the dugout.
So will his teammates. They'll be excited about that, try and get some more runs.
He got him. Oh, what an inning for Marco Estrada. He walks Mookie Betts and Dustin Pedroia to start the inning and then makes a nice defensive play himself. Blue Jays have a 1-0. Schedule ahead brought to you by WestJet. The Blue Jays will wrap up this game against Boston and head to Detroit to take on the Tigers for the first time this season. Jay Happ against Michael Fulmer scheduled on Monday. Then Aaron Sanchez and Matt Boyd, the former Blue Jay. Wednesday is an afternoon game. R.A. Dickey will go to the mound against the free agent Jordan Zimmerman, who will wrap things up against the Tigers.
No Justin Verlander, who was pitching today, and they're already in the third inning of their ball game, so they miss Verlander. But they get back into the American League East once again. 7 more games against the Orioles over the next 2 weeks. So John Gibbons' team's going to have to keep the pedal to the metal, if you will, against these teams.
It's Michael Saunders shows bunt, pulls the bat back. Michael is 2 for 7 in this series. Batting .295, off to a great start this year.
They're really starting to pound him in with that fastball. Anything out over the plate, he's been able to reach it. Now they've been going back inside with the heater.
He's done that an awful lot recently. They pitch him inside almost exclusively.
Well, they see all the movement that Michael has in his trigger when he's getting ready to swing the bats, and they feel if you've got a good fastball like Rodriguez does, we're going to pitch you inside. We don't want you to get that bat head extended out in front. So they've been pounding him in.
Another pitch inside off the plate, 2-1 to Saunders. Boston has pitched Michael tough all season long. This is his 11th game against the Red Sox. He is 6 for 34, 176 average.
One way to combat that, they throw it in there and yank it to right field.
He had designs of that on that pitch. Opened up on it.
Pitches are.
Trying to stay inside to Saunders. Coming right back in there.
Rodriguez has a nice little tailing fastball. Right at the end, the ball starts to move. It'll go into the left-handers, away from the right-handers. If you're disciplined enough, I think, at the plate, if you're a left-hander, if you see the ball in, you can take it because it's going to ride off the plate. The one you want to look for is the one that starts right down the middle. Very good. Very nice.
Inside, everything bunched up, down and into Saunders. Full count. Devin Travis waits on deck. He's homered in this series, his first home run of the season. You've hit against guys that pound you inside like that. It feels like every pitch is right above your fist. You can't do anything with it.
We talked about Josh Donaldson's thumb getting jammed up a lot. When you start getting pitchers like that who just keep pounding you inside, you start anticipating it. You start opening up just a little bit more. Look for it one time, see how hard you can hit it.
This is down the left side. That's slicing toward the seats. It is out of play. Overcast now. Lightning's. The skies are lightening up a little bit. There's supposed to be no rain, at least heavy rain, for most of the afternoon today.
Yesterday was gorgeous, wasn't it? Just a gorgeous day. Everything but the ball game, if you're a Blue Jay fan.
Boston won that game 6-4. Blue Jays managed just 4 hits in that ball game. Saunders hits this one high to left. Young drifting back on the warning track in front of the scoreboard. He makes the catch. One down.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Devin Travis bats with 1 out. Travis has a hit in 2 at bats against Eduardo Rodriguez. He's just 1 for 7 in this series. That one was a home run. Big home run of insurance against the Red Sox on Friday night.
He's getting closer and closer, isn't he? His timing, starting to get it at the plate. This is basically still spring training for Devin. Been in the lineup for about 2 weeks, ever since Troy Tulowitzki went on the disabled list.
It's a good pitch inside. He's done a good job, Rodriguez has, of keeping the ball inside. Now, spring training, the only difference is that instead of the starter leaving after 2 innings, you got to face him for the whole game.
And the bullpens. You don't get a breather in the bullpens. There's not some double-A kid coming up here and you're facing him in your last at bat. Heard Tulo today is hitting off of a tee. He's getting close.
Good news with Brett Cecil as well. He has extended his throwing out to 90 feet now. So he is getting close to working his way back to the mound. Outside 2-2. Cecil, of course, a big piece that's missing out of the Blue Jays bullpen right now. And the names continue to be shuffled. Ryan Tepera was sent back to AAA Buffalo with the addition of Matt Dominguez, who's playing third base here today. Boy, that's another good pitch right inside on Devin Travis. He pops up to the shortstop. Rodriguez done a good job working to both sides of the plate here.
He's got one of those fastballs that are sneaky. And I think if you're a hitter, you got to look to one side of the plate or the other. He's got that tailing fastball, and as a right-hander, if he throws it inside, you can't give up on it. It's got some movement on it.
Kevin Pillar just has 1 hit in this 3-game series, 1 for 8. You know, that's an interesting point you make. Rodriguez throws 93-94. Yet the Blue Jays can face Craig Kimbrell at 99 and hit fastballs off him because of that word you mentioned, sneaky. Little extra skip on the fastball. That gets another pop-up off the bat of Pillar. Pedroia out in the outfield grass makes the catch. Quick inning for Rodriguez. 3 up, 3 down. He's retired 7 straight since the home run.
Flying to Boston 3 times daily. Go to WestJet.com to book your flight to cheer the Blue Jays on right here in Boston. WestJet, a proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. A lot of contest winners, Buck, that flew out here on WestJet, enjoying the game, wearing Blue Jay hats and jerseys, of course.
It has been a great weekend for baseball fans, whether you're a fan of the Red Sox or of the Blue Jays, and the fans have had a great time. The weather has cooperated most of the weekend.
I think it's been beautiful. It's been great baseball. You're in a iconic type of ballpark. 2 very good teams. It's been very entertaining this weekend.
Blue Jays won the opener on Friday night 5-2. R.A. Dickey picking up the win. Blue Jays beat David Price in that game for just the 3rd time in franchise history. He is 17-3 all time against the Blue Jays. This is Hanley Ramirez, the first baseman. Well, Marco Estrada got out of a tough first inning jam. He stranded a pair of Red Sox. He walked the first 2 batters and kept them off the scoreboard.
Thanks to Xander Bogaerts dropping down that bunt attempt. When you're like that and you're just scrambling to look for an out anywhere, facing one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball, and the guy gives you an out like that, it can do wonders for your confidence.
Especially in this ballpark. Ramirez late on that fastball. Now Bogaerts, he's got more hits than anybody since the start of last season. For some reason, thought about bunting and bunted it right back to the mound. He probably got a little visit from the manager and the hitting coach about that. Hey, we like you to swing the bat.
Yeah, you're hitting .350. No bunting, unless I tell you.
And misses down and away. It's a full count. Jackie Bradley Jr. waits on deck. Marco Estrada's making his 11th start of the season. 3rd time he's faced the Red Sox, and he has been tough to hit. He's held opponents to 177 opponents batting average. That's the 4th best opponent's batting average in the majors.
Who says you need a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to get major league hitters out?
Through a changeup, and Ramirez walks. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Busy Sunday afternoon. Roy Kluber on the mound for the Cleveland Indians, and Kansas City, they've done a remarkable job of staying competitive despite the fact they've lost some very key players. Mike Moustakas is out for the season, torn ACL. Their catcher Sal Perez just getting close to coming back. They didn't disable him.
Yeah, he got to play in yesterday's game, got a couple of hits. He had that leg contusion. Alex Gordon is still out. They'll figure out a way. They got that taste of winning last year. Losing a couple of regulars is not going to slow him down.
Jackie Bradley Jr., center fielder, hitting .324. This is popped up. Matt Dominguez, the 3rd baseman, calls for it and makes the catch. Well, this is such an iconic sports town that when one of the heroes shows up, it's a big deal. And there's no better hockey player than that man right there, the great Bobby Orr. Terrific hockey player for the Boston Bruins for so many years. He's in the ballpark today. He was down in the dugout earlier today. This is a great sports town. Oh. They love their sports heroes, don't they?
Opening day, didn't Bill Russell, wasn't he here? And Bobby Orr and some of the greats of all the great sports iconic figures that have played here. He was the best, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a terrific player. He could do everything.
I don't know a lot about hockey.
Explosive,
Shocker.
fast, great shot.
But the people I talk to, you know, everybody says Wayne Gretzky and Rocket Richard and all that. But everybody I talked to who knows a little something about hockey said he was the best ever before he got hurt.
Yeah, he played a lot with injuries toward the end of his career. This is another pop-up, and it's playable. Edwin Encarnacion is there and makes the catch. 2 pop-outs here in the second after the leadoff.
Edwin kind of scratching his head right now, trying to figure out. The sun is now looking like it's a little bit brighter. He doesn't have any sunglasses on. And he was looking right straight up in the sky and said he lost that one.
Yeah, it's a real challenge because the sun is impacting those clouds. It's very bright and hazy right now. Number 9 hitter is the catcher, Christian Vasquez. Vasquez came into the game after Ryan Hannigan had to leave because of a neck issue. Hannigan, after the game, was placed on the disabled list, and they've replaced him with Sandy Leon, who just called up from Pawtucket AAA. Vasquez played in the opener on Friday night. He went 0 for 3, was lifted in favor of a pinch hitter in the ninth.
Marco really struggling with his command right now. He has not been able to find it with any of his pitches. He's just battling right now to get through these innings.
We have seen this at times just for a matter of maybe 3 or 4 batters, and he's always able to make adjustments and find the strike zone. He's walked 3 already, including both leadoff men so far in this game. His season high in walks is 4. You can see the strike to ball ratio not where he would like it to be.
Red Sox are, one, a very good hitting team. They're also a very patient team. And Marco's trying to be trying to be perfect right now early in this ball game, in this ballpark. I think pitching here in Fenway Park might have something to do with it. You make one mistake and they can knock it out of the ballpark.
Ground ball. Marty will flip to second. Travis is there. The inning is over. So the leadoff walk doesn't factor in. Blue Jays have an early lead.
Matt Dominguez not only got called up last night, but found himself in the starting lineup today playing at third base. The reason he's at third base is Josh Donaldson's thumb is still not 100%. Guys, it's a surprise to many that he's even in the lineup today, DHing, but no surprise at all to George Poulos and Josh Donaldson himself. In fact, they spent the entire game yesterday doing treatment, every type of treatment. In fact, George Poulos said they ambushed him with treatment to make sure that he can be back. He was getting treatment well into the evening last night to do everything he can. He said that Josh Donaldson is a warrior and will do whatever he can to play. I asked George Poulos if it was Josh Donaldson's idea to say, hey, George, do what you can to get me back in the lineup. And Poulos laughed and said, yeah, but he kind of didn't say it that nicely. Josh was very forceful in wanting to get back in and play.
Well, that's what he does. He averages about 155 games a year. He plays every day, every inning. He wants to be in the lineup.
Well, some of the treatment is ice. They'll also put some of those electric stimulants in there and just try to get that area, get the blood flow working in that area to heal quicker.
Well, one thing you can't do is you can't rush nature. He's got a bruised hand, and it's going to take a while for it to calm down. This is Matt Dominguez in Donaldson's place at third. Dominguez played 3 games for the Blue Jays early on. Got into 3 different games. One started third, one started first. He's a natural third baseman, of course, and a very good one. In 46 games this season at AAA Buffalo, Matt hit .287 with 7 doubles, 5 homers, and 28 RBIs.
Got a little bit of power. He showed that off against the Blue Jays when he was a member of the Houston Astros. I think that caught the eye of the Jays.
This ball is drilled to the alley in right center, but there's Mookie Betts to run it down. One down.
It's time to convert your big outdoor tasks into short, effortless work. Make the great outdoors even greater with Honda Power Equipment.
Fenway Park has undergone some wonderful renovations. They've widened the concourse, make it easier for the fans to move around the ballpark. One out for Darwin Barney. Rodriguez has retired 7 straight since the leadoff home run by Jose Bautista. Darwin's done a terrific job filling in all over the diamond. This ball's a high fly ball to left field. Young looking up. Goodbye. Home run. Darwin Barney. His 3rd home run of the season. 2 home runs off Rodriguez. First time through the order.
Yeah, Darwin is a smart player. Whenever you talk to him, you always come away saying, wow, this guy really understands the game of baseball. He's really into it. He'll make adjustments if he has to, and now he's getting his chance with Tulowitzki on the disabled list to play every day. And John Gibbons is going to ride him. As long as you're swinging that hot bat, I'm going to put you in that lineup somewhere, and he helps the Blue Jays with that home run.
Well, he's done a good job, whether he's playing second, short, or third. Coming up with the big hits, and Bautista goes after the first pitch and lifts a high fly into right. Rookie Betts makes the catch, 2 down.
You know, we've seen this 3 times this year now where pitchers say, I can throw a ball inside to Darwin Barney and be okay. Not this time, not in this ballpark. He goes down and gets that one. Rattles it around in those monster seats, and it comes back down on the playing field. That's a good feeling.
Hey, keep your eye on the outfielders here. They'll give you an indication as to whether or not it's going to be over the wall or it might be off the wall. And Young just kind of gave up on it early. Josh Donaldson. He was retired on a nice defensive play by Travis Shaw his first time. Shaw made a barehanded grab and threw Donaldson out at first.
It's great to get this guy's bat back in the lineup for the Blue Jays. He's got one of the highest career on base plus slugging against the Red Sox for active players.
Outside. You know, you talked about Rodriguez last year may have been tipping his pitches, but he throws 2 pitches.
Yeah.
All you have to be is 50% right.
He throws a lot of fastballs. That's what I like about him, is he'll challenge you. He'll use that fastball. What I think he needs to do, he needs to go inside and outside with it. I mean, if you just continually throw away, hitters are going to pick up on that.
Three and 1 to Donaldson. That's ball 4. Well, when you break down a pitcher, you look at his pitch selection and how frequently he throws the various pitches, give you an idea what you can look for as a hitter.
Well, he's got a nice smooth delivery. First of all, this is his pitch usage in his first start of the year against his former team Baltimore. He gave up 2 earned runs, 6 hits in 6 innings. Fastball 64% of the time, and he'll use the changeup at 26. He'll cut the ball a little bit there, slider just a little bit, but basically just look for 2 pitches.
I think right here Edwin's looking for 1 pitch.
Yeah.
Looking for any kind of fastball. Inside, outside, it doesn't make any difference. Fouls that one back.
Just out of his reach. That little movement right at the end just took it off the barrel.
We mentioned the Blue Jays. This is their 12th game in this stretch of games against the Yankees and the Red Sox. They played 12 straight now against New York and Boston. Edwin has done a great job. He has 12 RBIs during those 11 previous games. No one else on the Blue Jays has more than 6. So he's done his part in this great stretch.
He's the kind of guy that can carry a ball club when he gets hot. I don't think he's as hot as we have seen him in the past. He's just lukewarm right now.
You mean like 3 home runs, 9 RBIs? Hot?
That's pretty hot.
That's hot. Did that last year, of course, at Rogers Center.
He's one of those guys that, you know, he hits a couple of home runs and then he gets into that groove and all of a sudden he's not missing his pitches.
Well, all of a sudden he's hitting good pitches too.
Yeah, for base hits to right field, and if they hang him, he takes them out of the yard.
Swing and a drive. Get up, ball. Get up and gone. He got his fastball. 3rd home run of the afternoon. And the Blue Jays have jumped on Rodriguez early here.
What's the next stage after lukewarm? He's getting there. He got his pitch and he didn't miss it that time. He fouled a couple of balls to right field and he told himself stay in there just a little bit longer, keep the front shoulder in there, and Eduardo Rodriguez tried to slip one of those fastballs by him, and Edwin was waiting for it.
14 RBIs in the 12-game stretch against the AL East teams. 12 straight against the Yankees in Boston, and Encarnacion has driven in 14 runs. For nothing Blue Jays. Russell Martin takes it inside pitch.
He homered off of David Price off the foul pole in center field on Friday. This time, no doubt about it. Up into the monster seats. Boy, he and Jose, they love hitting in this ballpark.
They love hitting against the Red Sox in general, but especially here at Fenway Park. For Encarnacion, that's his 14th career home run here at Fenway Park. Bautista hit his 23rd career home run here at Fenway. Boy, it's nice when they homer in the same game.
That ties him with Evan Longoria for second most as a visiting player now.
And so Martin swings and misses. It's 2-2 to the Blue Jays catcher. For Encarnacion, he now has 46 RBIs along with those 12 home runs. Inside. Bautista led off the ball game with a leadoff home run. Darwin Barney hit a 1-out home run this inning, and Edwin Encarnacion hit a 2-out, 2-run homer. So Martin takes ball for second walk of the inning.
And that's going to bring Xander Bogaerts and the pitching coach to the mound. Carl Willis going to go out and talk to his young starter. That could be a shell shock. Darwin Barney taking you deep, and then Edwin Encarnacion taking you deep, so you start to pitch away from contact.
The one thing the Blue Jays have in their back pocket, no matter where they are in the standing, is the fact that they're getting great starting pitching. Look at this starter's ERA in the American League. The Texas Rangers, who just got Yu Darvish back, they're at 3.44. The Blue Jays are right on their heels at 3.55. The White Sox got a boost. They just picked up James Shields, who'll make his debut this week against the Washington Nationals, and the Red Sox 4.67. That's a concern.
Yes, it is for Boston, and I'm with you. The Blue Jays, with that type of starting pitching, if they continue to get that kind of starting pitching, just remember to file that away. They've got that in their back pocket. They can go on a nice little run.
Michael Saunders. He has been pounded inside early this afternoon. Boston, they've got their bullpen up and working already. We're in the third inning with 2 outs. Down and away. Heath Hembree was just recalled from the AAA Pawtucket team. He's down in the bullpen. They sent Noe Ramirez out to open up a spot on the roster. Blue Jays saw Hembree at Rogers Center last time these two teams met in Toronto. 2 outs. Saunders pulls that inside pitch.
You know, when you don't get the good starting pitching, and this has happened to the Boston Red Sox. John Farrell was telling us this yesterday that, you know, when your guy gets knocked out early in the ball game, it just messes up your whole bullpen. And if you don't have, quote, long men down there who can pitch 3, 4, 5 innings out of the bullpen, it can really mess up the bullpen.
Saunders hits it high into center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. over in the alley waits on it, makes the catch. Saunders is retired, but the Blue Jays get a pair of home runs here in the third. Darwin Barney, a 1-out home run, his third, and then Edwin Encarnacion, a 2-run shot, number 12 for Edwin.
Fans, members, it is time to log on to My Blue Jays and enter the following code, MBJ1899. To do that, you will earn My Blue Jays points simply for listening and watching to our broadcast. The code must be entered by 11:59. We'll have a new code for you tomorrow, and among the Blue Jay points prizes could include possibly those life-size faces of Buck and Pat. Those are great, guys.
The life-size faces of Buck and Pat.
Yeah, those fans, we were passing those out before the ball game today, Buck and I, and the fans were just gobbling them up. I'm just kidding, of course.
4-0 Blue Jays in the bottom of the third. Mookie Betts, the leadoff man. He walked his first time up. He pops this one up. It's playable. Matt Dominguez, the third baseman, calls for it near the bag and makes the catch. Marco Estrada, a little bit off on his aim early in this ballgame. Just missing ever so slightly, but he was able to pitch around those problems. He walked 3 in the first 2 innings.
That was a good thing right there. He threw a little cutter, and he just got it off the barrel of the bat. Mookie Betts popped it up. It always helps to get that leadoff batter.
Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia has a 12-game hit streak. Started on the 24th of May. 20 hits in those 12 games, including a home run and 6 RBIs. Just 2 for 8 in this series.
For me, watching him this year compared to last year, is he's hitting the ball the other way so much better with a little bit more authority. He's got 25 hits to left field, 22 to center, 24 hits to right field. That's something that Dustin Pedroia didn't do a whole lot of early in his career.
Ground ball. Travis is there. He throws out Pedroia. 2 up, 2 down. Well, Marco Estrada comes into this ball game with a 3-2 record. This is his 11th start, but his last 3 starts, he's really picked it up. ERA just over 1.5. Opponents hitting 132, and he has been consistent in that regard. How many times have we at an Estrada game where we'll be into the 6th inning and say, well, Estrada's done a good job. The other team's still looking for their first hit.
That's right. Last time against the Yankees, he beat New York for the 2nd time in a 5-game stretch.
Encarnacion will get over near the dugout, and it is in the dugout. Russell Martin, always anxious to make a play on a foul pop-up. Came to an abrupt skidding halt. You look at those last 3 starts. Marco, he got this hot streak started in Minnesota. He made that start on the 19th of May in Minnesota, went 8 innings, allowed 3 hits, struck out 9. And then his next start against the Yankees in New York, 4 hits over 7 innings, and then got the Yankees at Rogers Center, 3 hits over 8 innings. Pretty stingy.
Very stingy. That game against Minnesota, 8 innings, 1 earned run, no decision.
Bogarts waves at that changeup. And breaking ball just not there yet. He's going to continue to try to throw that curveball, see if he can get it down.
Yeah, he's a battler out there, and if something's not working, he'll go back to it, or his fastball's not working, he's going to have to improve that.
Popped up. Matt Dominguez has been busy. 3rd baseman into foul ground. Makes the catch. Marco Estrada has baffled the Red Sox early in this ball game. Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead.
All the San Jose Sharks needed was a little bit of home cooking, maybe a little bit of bratwurst at home to get back into the series. They won last night. It is now a 2-1 series lead for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Game number 4 of the Stanley Cup Final can be seen on CBC. It goes 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, and that is tomorrow. You can watch it all, and boy, those bratwursts look good, Buck.
They sure do, Barry, and they have surrounded this ballpark. They're everywhere outside and inside as well. Top of the 4th. Devin Travis takes the first pitch, strike. The Blue Jays had 2 home runs last inning. It's the 5th time they've had multiple home runs in an inning. First time since New York, when Michael Saunders and Russell Martin went deep in the same inning against the Yankees.
That was big for another reason too, wasn't it?
First time Canadian ball players have homered in the same inning. Ground ball bouncing up the middle. Pedroia makes a nice play. Oh, what a play. Dustin Pedroia. You just wonder if he's ever going to slow down, but he shows no signs of doing anything like that. That was a terrific play. Looked like a base hit all the way.
Didn't think he had any chance at getting to the ball and then throwing over to first base to get Devin Travis, but he gets a good break on the ball. I love his setup. You can see he hops. Actually was leaning to his left, but went to his right, caught the ball, and then threw accurate. Look how strong his arm is here. Thrown across his body and gets Travis in plenty of time.
Kevin Pillar hits it to center. No problem for Jackie Bradley Jr. He is there. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie. CC Sabathia is on the mound for the Yankees, and he's throwing the ball very well right now. Since he put that big knee brace on to give him support, he's pitching with a lot of confidence. He's opposed by Kevin Gausman, who gave up that RBI to Rodriguez.
You mentioned that knee brace. It's a lot like what Eduardo Rodriguez is going through right now for the Boston Red Sox. Told you he had that dislocated kneecap in spring training when he went on his rehab. They had to call him back from his rehab because of that injury. And all they had to do was tweak his knee brace. Put a different knee brace on there. He got a little bit more strength, and he's been fine ever since.
If you have an injury in an area where you're concerned, you're going to protect that area, whether you don't land on it fully. And now he's got the confidence that knee brace is going to stabilize his knee, and he'll be okay to pitch.
Well, think about that. Just a dislocated kneecap for a pitcher, and you get all your power from your lower half, either pushing off or landing. If you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to be able to throw strikes.
Chopper back to the mound. Long underhand toss in time. 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays go quietly in the top of the 4th.
Live on your phone and tablet with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can customize at-bat to feature the Blue Jays and stay up to the moment, any moment, with scores, news, live game video highlights, and much more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball. And guys, the umps are keeping a close eye on this weather. Of course, we'd love to get this one in before the heavy rains start, which are expected later tonight.
Well, Blue Jays and the Red Sox players are not too concerned about that. All you can do is play. And you play. You don't try to get ahead of yourself. You don't try to complete any innings. How many times have you been on a team where you say, okay, we got to get this inning in? You rush to get the inning in. You end up giving up several runs, and it doesn't really make any difference. You just got to play the game.
Just play the game. Managers will say, you know, take a usual at bat. Don't go up there trying making outs or anything like that, because you never know what's going to happen. The greatest example of that was when Jack Morris went for his 20th win in New York. We were trying to make outs to get the 5 innings in for Jack to win his 20th game. That's the game where Alfredo was swinging at balls that were landing up on the backstop. They finally said, okay, that's enough of that. But to his credit, I think there was like a 2-hour rain delay. Jack came back and got his 5 innings in and won his 20th game of the season.
Marco Estrada hits ahead of David Ortiz 0-2. And strikes him out on 3 pitches.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
One down. Marco Estrada getting zeroed in now.
Yes, he is. You can see that. That was a perfect at bat against Ortiz. 1, 2, 3. See you later. Now he paints Travis Shaw to lead off this at bat. For him, I think it's all about pitching off of his fastball. He has to be able to throw his fastball over for strikes and throw it where he needs to, because he's got to get the guys, the opposition, thinking about that fastball.
That's a cutter hit deep to center field, but Pilar's got a little room there and makes the catch. Travis Shaw hit it in the wrong part of this field, and Pilar says that he will shade power hitters into that big part of center field, 420 feet away, figuring that anything hit to the left center part of the thing is going to be off the green monster.
Anywhere else in this ballpark, it's a home run. Pilar runs back and makes the catch, and Estrada says that's an out. It's a long out, but they will take it. But to finish that thought, pitching off the fastball, and I thought that's what he did so effectively last year, pitching off the fastball, and then when they started looking for the fastball, that's when you can start using your changeup.
What you do then is you create a swing mentality in the hitter. Throw them enough fastballs, they're going to swing, and then you start mixing in the other pitches. High fly ball to right. Bautista over near the warning track makes the catch. Quick inning for Marco Estrada. He's retired 9 in a row. The Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. Brought to you by the all-new Honda Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
What a year Darwin Barney is putting together for the Blue Jays, and this afternoon he takes this inside fastball, elevates it down the left field line. Only about 310 down there. Drops it into the front row right there, the front row seats for his 3rd home run and this afternoon's drive of the game. That's good to say for Darwin.
Absolutely, one of 3 home runs the Blue Jays have hit.
Batting average up to 327. I'd say he's doing a pretty good job filling in for Troy Tulowitzki.
Terrific job filling in all over the diamond. Played a little bit of second, a little bit of third. For Barney, he has 32 hits now.
Made a couple of nice plays here the other night. Took a hit away from Bogarts. He also stabbed the line drive and took another hit away from the Red Sox when he was playing shortstop.
He prepares himself very well. Obviously worried about the possibility of playing 3 different infield positions at any given time if he doesn't start. Two balls and 2 strikes. Darwin Barney leading off the 5th for the Blue Jays.
Got to figure he's going to throw a fastball here. Batting number 9, you're in front of Jose Bautista. You don't want to face Bautista with a runner on base.
Lead off walk. That's 3 walks issued by Rodriguez.
Well, Jose Bautista got the Blue Jays off on the right foot here in the 1st inning. This ball deep to left field. It just squeaks over for the home run for Bautista. He wasn't really sure if that was going to be called a home run, but it ends up being a solo home run. Blue Jays have hit 2 more since then.
For Bautista, that's his 40th career home run against the Boston Red Sox. His 23rd he's hit here at Fenway Park, and obviously John Farrell, the manager, is a bit concerned about where this game is headed. Red Sox trail 4-0. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, out buying some time for the bullpen more than any.
Yeah, that's what I think. Looks like Heath Embry has now got up once again and is starting to throw once again instead of Clay Buchholz we saw earlier.
So Bautista has homered and flied out. Bautista is sitting back on that back leg looking for another pitch to hit out of here.
Looking for something inside. You know, he's good enough that he can take that ball just off the plate or early in the count that it hits the corner. He's looking for something in to do what Edwin did his last time up.
Ground ball to short. Bogarts, Pedroia for 1, back to first, double play. But Rodriguez threw him an off-speed pitch, got a ball off the end of the bat. Red Sox turn 2.
That is a tough pitch to try and pull. It's got a lot of movement on it right at the end. Takes it off the barrel. It's a tough pitch to try and pull. You're better off just shooting that ball to right field.
Josh Donaldson back in the lineup. He's the DH this afternoon. Grounded out and walked. He scored on the Encarnacion 2-run home run in the 3rd. Goes that ball into the seats. See Donaldson wearing that protective ring around his right thumb. He's got that rubber game saver, if you will, which allows the hitters to play with those deep bone bruises.
Thumb saver. I'll tell you what, it makes a difference too.
Big bouncing ball to 3rd. Travis Shaw will take his time. Donaldson has grounded out twice. Quick inning for Rodriguez. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Boston trails by 4.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Iconic Fenway Park, and they have done a great job of renovating the park. It was about a 10-year program where they took on different challenges over the course of the off-season, and they have upgraded it in many aspects, and it's turned into one of the real destination ballparks in North America. Jackie Bradley Jr. to lead things off. Takes a first pitch strike from Marco Estrada. Talking about iconic baseball parks. On this day in 1989, Blue Jays opened up their state-of-the-art ballpark. Skydome opened up on this day. Jimmy Key took the mound.
Yes, against the Brewers.
Hard to fathom it was that long ago.
You know, it's even harder to fathom it, Adam, as he goes around. Another 3-pitch strikeout for Marco Estrada, is when that park opened up, how nice it was and how quickly the other parks that were built right after it took its place. Basically, check swing by Bradley. He goes around.
Different style of ballparks in the next 5 years or so when they opened up Camden Yards, Safeco Field, AT&T Park, all those great retro ballparks, if you will. A lot of brick included in the construction of those ballparks.
Tell you though, when Skydome opened up, there was nothing like it. Nobody had ever seen anything like that. Retractable dome. You could play inside, outside. Two different feels depending on the weather.
It was a perfect storm, too, for the opening of that stadium. Obviously, the franchise in need of a big league stadium, but the ball club was very good at that time, too. So they moved over mid-season in June of '89, and they had a great ball club, and because of that, they filled it every single night.
It's a place to be, wasn't it? That was the best ticket in town.
Now it's become a destination again because the ball club is so good and a great run they had last year. Pitch Young hits this one into the alley. Pilar is there. 2 quick outs here in the 5th.
Well, Marco Estrada is just doing what he did last year, just getting out after out after out. And then when the dust settles and you look up and you take a look at some of the numbers, the opponent's batting average, he's the best in the American League. They're only hitting .177 against Marco Estrada. Danny Salazar throws hard. He's second. Stephen Wright, the knuckleballers in there. Sale and Rich Hill also round out the top 5. But Marco, he does it with 4 different pitches. And for me, watching him this afternoon, he's starting to get zeroed in.
Changeup misses. It's a ball and a strike. Christian Vasquez, the young catcher for the Red Sox, get into a fielder's choice.
Isn't that true all the time with the good pitchers? They come out of that bullpen, they might not be as sharp. You walk the first couple of batters, have another walk in the 3rd inning. Then all of a sudden it clicks in. And you had your chance.
Great changeup, couple of strikeouts in the inning. Red Sox go down in order in the 5th. We'll go to the 6th. Big bats coming up for the Blue Jays. Edwin Encarnacion hit his 12th home run in his first at bat. Then Russell Martin and Michael Saunders. 4-0 Jays. Encarnacion homered with a man aboard in the third, his second two-run home run of the series. His 12th home run of the season and gives him RBIs number 45 and 46 for the season. In fact, he's moving up the leaderboard in that department.
Gave Blue Jays a little bit more breathing room. David Ortiz leads the American League in RBIs, and look at what Edwin's doing. He is starting to creep up and trying to catch Ortiz.
6th inning. Blue Jays have 4 runs on just 3 hits. Red Sox no runs, looking for their first hit of the ball game. There's a strike. The Blue Jays coming into this game 30 and 27, 3.5 games back of the Boston Red Sox. Jays have won 8 of the last 10. Off speed pitch through them.
That looked like a changeup right there that got underneath the bat of Encarnacion. Keep doing what you're doing. They are locked in right now against Rodriguez.
Ground ball, Pedroia in the shift. Goes across the diamond in time. But Rodriguez has done a pretty good job of minimizing the damage. The 3 hits he's given up have all been home runs, but he finds himself trailing 4-0.
You know what he hasn't done? He hasn't struck out any batters today. With that good fastball, I don't really classify him as a strikeout type of pitcher because he's fastball changeup. He doesn't throw a breaking ball, a slider or a curveball that could pick up a lot of strikeouts with.
Not a whole lot of swing and miss stuff. He might overpower you from time to time with that fastball, but it'll lead to a pop-up or maybe a ground-out. He had 3 strikeouts in his first start. Russell takes ball 2 low. Russell Martin hitting in the cleanup spot today against the lefty. Fastball at the knees. It's 2-2. Russell trying to get something going consistently at the plate. Disappointing start to his season with the bat. That ball gets away from Vasquez.
Usually when you have a hot streak, you'd like it to last a little bit longer than about 3 or 4 games. You want to go about 2 weeks of just staying right in that zone and hitting the ball hard. Russell he shows signs of it. There's some glimpses of his hot streak, but nothing consistent yet. He had the great series in New York against the Yankees. Came home and had some big hits against the Red Sox. Remember that hit against Kimbrel? That was a big hit.
I think more than anything, you'd like to string together good at-bats where you get good pitches to hit, not chasing pitches off the plate. There's a drive to left field. That ball is gone. Russell Martin with a line drive home run into the seats. His 4th homer of the season. And the 4th that Rodriguez has given up today. Boy, that was a shot.
That was a laser by Russell Martin, and that'll get you going right there. That ball would have left any ballpark on a line. That thing was still rising when it hit the seats in left field. They tried to trick Russell Martin, but he's not going to fall for those tricks that a catcher will do. You saw the catcher Vasquez act like they were going to come inside, tapping the ground right by Russell Martin, and then slid to the outside like that. And Russell said, "I'm not falling for that. I've been around long enough." Watch it one more time. Vasquez, the catcher, He calls for a pitch away, taps the ground. That is right down Broadway right there. And Russell says, I'll take care of that.
Saunders hits a line drive, and it's right at Jackie Bradley Jr. Well, Blue Jays' big bats have come alive here this Sunday afternoon.
That pitch was down, and he went down and got it. That was the impressive part of that at bat, that he was able to go down and get it up. And again, he created a lot of backspin on that swing. That thing was still rising when it left the ballpark.
So that's going to be it for the young left-hander, Eduardo Rodriguez. He leaves the ballgame having surrendered just 4 hits, but all 4 hits were home runs. He leaves with the Red Sox trailing 5-0. Heath Hembree into the ballgame.
The all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Well, the Blue Jays are into the Red Sox bullpen. This is Heath Hembree, fresh off the recall from AAA Pawtucket. This will be his 13th appearance of the season.
That just happened this morning when they just brought him back up from AAA, when they sent back down Noe Ramirez, second stint with Major League Club for Hembree. Hembree 2-0 with a .214 earned run average. He has handled right-handers because he's got a powerful slider, good arm, good fastball, good slider, but lefties have given him trouble.
Devin Travis batting with 2 outs and nobody on. He goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Good fastball. Travis a little bit behind it just yet.
Red Sox have done a good job over the years of recognizing players in other organizations, so when they are ready to make a trade, they can pick up some young players that'll help them in the future. They picked up Heath Hembree from San Francisco when they traded Jake Peavy over there. They also got another pitcher in that deal, a left-hander named Escobar, who's pitched a little bit with the Red Sox. But you trade a veteran like that, you got to recognize a guy who's got a good young arm like this guy does.
That was during the July trade deadline period in 2014 when they sent Jake Peavy out to the Giants. Hembree has been a reliever his entire career, even back in the minors.
They want a little bit more power in that bullpen, if you will, with their pitches. I think he fits the bill. Right
now, he's got the power arm that they lost in Carson Smith. They acquired Carson Smith from Seattle for John Farrell's bullpen, so he would be a power arm, but he has been injured and he's undergone Tommy John surgery.
That was a big loss for him. We were really counting on him against some of these right-handed hitters in the American League East. He's tough, or he was tough on righties. Now he's going to miss this year.
Devin Travis is battling here. On Friday night, he had a similar at bat against Koji Ohara. Ended up hitting a home run into the seats in left. Almost as if he's trying to gauge the timing of getting that barrel out in front.
Fastball a little bit more. This guy's got a little bit more than Uehara.
96 upstairs. That ends the inning. Embry strikes out Devin Travis. But the home run parade continues here at Fenway. Russell Martin, a solo shot, his third of the season. It's all Blue Jays early on. This afternoon got started with the grounds crew covering up the field. There was some rain here. They did a nice job of making sure the infield didn't get wet. Weather has cleared out. We have played a great game, and Marco Estrada, after a little bit of a shaky start in the first, has really locked in.
A couple of walks to the first two batters he faced this afternoon. He also had a leadoff walk to Ramirez in the second inning, but then got locked in, and he's kept that pitch count down. Don't be in a hurry when you see them starting to take the tarp off and get that turf ready. A lot of times guys will start trying to hurry through the inning to get through it. Don't do it.
Just keep pitching your game.
Yeah.
We talk about a pivotal play in this ball game, and it happened in the first inning after Betts and Pedroia drew leadoff walks to start the game. Xander Bogaerts bunted right back to the mound, and it was a surprising move to say the least. But Marco Estrada came off the mound and made a terrific play, got the lead runner at third base.
That was their best chance to score a run early. They're so good in the first inning. The best team in baseball, but that was a pivotal play so far.
Fly ball to center field, and that generally means you're going to be out. One down. Let's check in with Jamie. Taylor Duffy, the starter for the Twins. And how about Logan Morrison? He's on fire. He homered again today.
That's your guy, huh?
Wow.
You love that guy now.
He got 6 home runs now.
We're getting our daily Logan Morrison update from you every day.
He came from nowhere, man. He was dead in the water. Dustin Pedroia walked and grounded out.
This is the third time through now for the Boston Red Sox against Marco Estrada. And they do such a good job, especially this guy right here, of gathering information and then coming up with hits. Pedroia last year led the American League in hitting with a .451 average, third time he faced a starter in a game. You don't think he's putting together a game plan that third time through?
Well, he remembers every pitch he's ever seen. So he'll go back to the bench each time and say, you're not going to get me out on that pitch. I'm going to cover that pitch next time you try to throw it.
But that's where Estrada is so tough, because he might pitch you one way the first or second time through. He might change it all up his third time through.
Well, right now he's swinging at everything. So you might be able to bounce a ball and get him to chase, because Estrada has done such a good job of throwing everything in the strike zone. Now it's time to throw one out of the strike zone.
Bounce a curveball. We haven't seen too many curveballs this afternoon from Marco Estrada.
Fastball line to Dominguez at third. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Partnership.
1912. Do you remember that game?
No, I missed that one. Greatest game ever played. Ty Cobb said that. Xander Bogaerts goes after the first pitch, and Encarnacion in foul territory makes the catch. Marco Estrada retires the side in order in the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. 5-0 Blue Jays.
A Blue Jays Flex Pack time is running out. It is your last chance to purchase one for the 2016 season. You have to pick them up before June the 9th at 5 p.m. Our account executives will find the package that best suits your needs. Go to BlueJays.com to get all the information. Buck?
Well, you got to make sure you sign up. The Baltimore Orioles will be at Rogers Center for a 4-game series, followed by a quick 2-game series against Philadelphia. Then Arizona comes to Rogers Center June 21st, 22nd. Carnes Pilar pops out to Hanley Ramirez at first base. That's the first out of the top half of the 7th. So Matt Dominguez, who has just been recalled from AAA Buffalo, got the start at third base. Dominguez has gone 0 for 2 so far. The Blue Jays have hit 4 home runs here this afternoon. It's the 3rd time this season they've had a 4-homer game. Ironically, they've all come on the road. The 4-homer game on the 29th of April at Tampa Bay. 4 more home runs on the 20th of May in Minnesota. Matt Dominguez hits one deep to short. Bogaerts long throw, and in time. Tim Leeper, the first base coach, wants to see the replay of that one. What a play by Bogarts and a nice scoop by Hanley Ramirez at first.
He's one of the best players in the American League. Young players. He goes to his right, a la Derek Jeter, up in the air all the way across the diamond, and Ramirez does a good job. That's a great play. He is out. As a first baseman, you want to get as low as possible, and this ball right off the lip, so you're not real sure where that ball is going to hop. You can see how low he is. He gets down there, gets the hop, and records the out over at first base. But what a play on both ends.
Xander Bogaerts is developing into a MVP candidate. He is an all-star athlete for sure, a guy that can play defense and among the league leaders in everything offensively.
He can hit, and he's batting third on the best hitting team in the American League. And he plays a premium position at shortstop. He's improved so much as a shortstop. Talked to Brian Butterfield about that. He says, you know, he still has a ways to go. There's a few things in his game that he can work on, but he's getting much better at shortstop, and he's going to be one of the best players in the American League.
Brian Butterfield, of course, puts in hours with these infielders and does a terrific job with them. Butterfield will identify weaknesses and try to build up on those weaknesses, and he does a great job. We've seen it with the Blue Jays over the years, and now he's taken his skills to the Boston Red Sox. A terrific coach and a great guy.
There are some issues around the bag that they cleaned up just a little bit. His first step, he says, now Bogaerts comes to me to talk about how I can get better instead of me going to go find him. Don't you love that with young players when they seek out the coaches to ask them to help them?
Well, you've got tremendous mentors here in Boston with Ortiz and Pedroia, two of the best in the game. 2-2, 2 outs, ball 3. I tell you what, when young players start to drift here with the Red Sox, you got Pedroia and Ortiz to deal with.
They don't drift too far, do they? Bring them back down to earth. Say, look, this is the way we do things around here. I remember Pedroia saying that a couple of years ago.
Inside, now when Barney takes ball 4, 2-out walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Justin Upton batting 7th in that lineup. He is 2 for 3 with a pair of RBIs today. Verlander 5 2/3, 7 strikeouts so far. Quintana started for Chicago. He's out of the game. Bautista hits that one off the end of the bat. That one's spinning and headed back to the field, but it died in deep grass. Hit that one right off the end of the bat. Barney's at first. Blue Jays have drawn 4 walks this afternoon.
Darwin's got a couple of them. He's been on base all 3 times this afternoon.
Home run and 2 walks. Bautista homered in the first inning. Got the Blue Jays off and running a quick start. He staked Estrada to an early lead. It's the second leadoff home run Jose has hit this season, his 6th career leadoff home run.
And that never would have happened unless the ball players got together and said, you know what, we got to do something about this offense. Jose said, I'll hit leadoff, and it's been about 2 or 3 weeks, and they've been hot ever since. I don't think it's a, excuse me, Buck, a long-term solution for the team. I'm not sure. But something had to be done to try and jar this offense.
There are so few leadoff hitters in the game today that everybody's looking for a different way to get your best 3 hitters up to the plate. Look around, there are a lot of great hitters hitting in the 2 spot.
Buck Showalter in Baltimore took it to another extreme. He went to Adam Jones, who's been struggling, and said, Adam, I'm going to give you a choice here. You got 2 choices. You can either take a couple of days off and work in the cage and get things together, or bat leadoff for me. He batted leadoff, and he's been raking ever since.
Yeah, he's gotten hot. Bounce in the dirt. Marco Estrada, boy, he had a interesting start to this ball game. Walked Mookie Betts and Dustin Pedroia. Looked like he was in for a tough inning, but he was able to strand those 2 base runners, and they have had 1 base runner since. Looking for their first hit. Two and 2 to Bautista. Now it's a full count. Barney at first, to be off on the pitch, of course. Donaldson waits on deck. Cut on and miss. Bautista strikes out. The Blue Jays leave a base runner on base here in the 7th. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Marco Estrada coming back out. He's shutting out the Red Sox.
Rogers customers get free VIP Blue Jays experiences like alumni meet and greet, seat upgrades, offers, and more with Game Plus. It's all part of the MLB.com ballpark app. Learn more at BlueJays.com/Game Plus. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. Quite a ball game going on here. The Blue Jays have hit 4 home runs. They have 5 runs. And Marco Estrada has been terrific. 2 of those 3 walks came in the first 2 batters he faced today. He's had just 1 base runner since the first, has 4 strikeouts and thrown 82 pitches.
Yeah, that's okay. Just keep going out there and just keep throwing. I think you can push him on a day like today to go as long as you want to against this good offense that the Red Sox have thrown out there. He can get you with the curveball. He can elevate the fastball if he needs to, or he can throw the changeup. He can get you out in so many different ways. And right now, the Red Sox are befuddled by Marco Estrada. The fewest hits the Red Sox have gotten, believe it or not, in a game this year. They were 1 hit by Tampa Bay back in April. Marco Estrada so far has been better.
Boston had 5 hits in the Blue Jays win on Friday night. They had 11 hits in the game yesterday in that 6-4 win. Marco Estrada. Remember last year, of course, he carried no hitters into the 8th inning in consecutive games. June 19th and June 24th, 19th against the Orioles, and the June 24th game down in St. Pete against Tampa Bay. Bottom of the 7th. Middle of the order for Boston will be Ortiz, Shaw, and Ramirez.
David Ortiz, there are his numbers. You know, he and Dustin Pedroia have the longest hitting streak in the major leagues right now.
12 games. This is a fly ball into shallow right. Darwin Barney backing up. Shortstop makes the catch out in right field. That's 16 straight retired by Estrada.
A lot of pop-ups and a lot of fly balls this afternoon.
Blue Jays will head to Detroit after this game to take on the Tigers in a 3-game series. Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. Travis Shaw. These are beautiful games to watch when you see a pitcher like Marco Estrada continuing to locate, change speeds, really mess up the timing of the Red Sox hitters.
You're probably locked in on Russell Martin, aren't you? The way he's calling the game today.
It is a joy to catch a pitcher that can do whatever you ask. It's like you got a full toolbox and you can reach in there and grab anything. And they all work.
And they're all working right now.
Russell can just sit back there and say, how about a couple of these and one of those, and we'll mix in another one of these, and no hesitation whatsoever. Boy, that's a beautiful pitch.
You can see Russell. He's thinking about, okay, let's see, through that scouting report, we were talking about this. Okay, we got to go curveball.
He hung it, and Pilar is there. He got away with one right there, and Estrada knows it. He pumped his fist in, hit his chest, looked back into Martin, said, that's my fault, man. He left it up.
But it threw, I thought, the hitter off just a little bit where he couldn't lay back on it and get enough into it. Marco happy with that one. He said, I made a mistake. It was the right call. But he changed speeds just enough that Shaw didn't get all of it.
Hanley Ramirez now, nobody on and 2 outs.
That he comes right back to it. Huh?
Fresh in his mind, he'd hung that previous curveball, so he drops in the next one perfectly for a strike.
Strike 2. This is the guy they need to get going, I think, the Red Sox.
Not now.
Not now. No, you can do it some other time. But I say that because he hasn't had an extra base hit since May 15th. He has really struggled hitting behind Ortiz today, behind Shaw.
There's that curveball. This time he bounces it in the dirt.
Hey, for all I care, he can stay in a slump all season long. But
this is the best hitting club in the American League. Pulled foul against the fence. Boston leads the AL East. They are 10 games over 500 at 33 and 23, a game ahead of the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore losing to the Yankees in Baltimore 1-0, bottom of the 5th. Two and 2 now to Hanley Ramirez.
And they built up that league, I think, on the strength of their hitting. They also lead the American League in hitting. But today, not so much.
Came into this game with a team batting average of .295. Popped up. That's going to be behind the Red Sox dugout.
They just finished off the month of May where they were super hot, supercharged. They had a slugging percentage of .525 in the month of May. That's the second highest in a month in team history. Everybody was hitting.
fouled off. Russell Martin liked that last pitch. He acknowledged that fact to Estrada after the foul tip. Where do they go now?
I think he's ready for a fastball somewhere.
Looking at Ramirez's feet, see if he can pick up anything there. Coming inside, it is a fastball. Left it out over the plate a little bit. Quite a battle going on here between a former batting champ and Marco Estrada. Fly ball to right. Bautista backing up. This ball's carrying. He makes a running catch. Nice play by Jose Bautista. Hanley Ramirez hit it hard, but there's a lot of room out there in right. And Estrada, another terrific defensive play in support. Bautista runs it down. Red Sox no hits through 7.
Fans enter the Bacardi Blue Jays for a day contest for a chance to win a great Blue Jays on-field experience. For details, entry form, and rules, go to bluejays.com/Bacardi contest. It closes Thursday, June 30th at 4:59 p.m. Buck, as we go to the top of the 8th, the biggest challenge right now for Marco Estrada could be this weather, as the rain has started to fall here and it is starting to pick up.
Marco Estrada can't do a thing about the rain. He has just really taken care of the Boston Red Sox. He has really been on his game. He always carries that softball around in between innings just to keep his hands stretched out, and then he goes back out, and that baseball feels like a golf ball in his hands. He can do a lot of things with it. Josh Donaldson, he'll start things off here in the 8th. Josh has been the DH this afternoon. Did not play in yesterday's game. Came in this ball game against the left-handed starter, Eduardo Rodriguez. The Blue Jays knocked him out in the 6th. There's a breaking ball that finds the strike zone. It's 0-2.
He's going to have to play through some of this pain if he's going to do that. Blue Jays do not have another off day until the 20th of this month. So Josh, he's a gamer. He wants to be out there.
Cut out in front of that pitch and popped it over the Blue Jays. My teammate Hal McRae said, you know what, I got all winter to rest.
That can be nagging. That right thumb, that right hand injury. Let's go out there and play.
Good swing at that pitch. Donaldson missed the game yesterday because of a bruised right hand. He has been jammed a few times, and that bat continues to beat up the webbing between your thumb and your index finger, and just becomes sore and swollen and hard to really grip that bat. Also becomes a problem throwing.
That's why he's DHing today. Just like a good craftsman needs good tools, a good hitter needs his hands to hit. And if you've got any kind of pain in your hand, it's tough to pull the trigger sometimes.
Another foul into the seats. Catchers would deal with that from time to time, especially when you catch a sinker ball pitcher a lot. You take that ball off your glove, it hits in that thumb, and you'll twist that thumb and aggravate that, and you'll play with a swollen up thumb quite a bit. A lot of swelling in your thumb and that big fat pad of your.
They got a little cast for that now, don't they? They slip right over your thumb.
Like a little holster for your thumb, a little hard plastic thumb guard. Donaldson trying to time up Heath Hembree here.
Some long at bats by the Blue Jays against Hembree.
Devin Travis had an extended at bat in the 6th and eventually struck out.
That just makes Marco's wait on the bench just a little bit longer, doesn't it?
Fastball strikes him out. 3 strikeouts for Hembree. Marco Estrada, 7 innings, no hits allowed. He's walked 3, thrown just 98 pitches. He had a 26-pitch first inning and then really settled down. Done a terrific job of making adjustments, and that's been Marco Estrada's work ethic. A couple of bad pitches, a couple of bad innings. He sorts things out right away and gets back on track. Edwin Encarnacion, one of 4 Blue Jay home runs this afternoon. He had a 2-run home run in the 3rd off Eduardo Rodriguez. During this 12-game stretch, the Blue Jays are 8-3 in the first 11 against Boston and New York. When they started this stretch, they were 2 games under 500 at 22 and 24. 6 games back in the division.
And everybody was saying, what's wrong with the Blue Jays? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they? You know what? It's taken everybody. And that ball's right off the end of the bat. It's taken everybody to make the playoffs last year to get on track. But some of these teams are now starting to find their stride, starting to win some ball games.
That extra month's worth of baseball certainly takes its toll. That's Clay Buchholz, who is now working out of the bullpen for Boston. World Series champs Kansas City Royals got off to a slow start. Houston, who played into the playoffs, they got off to a slow start, but they've bounced back. They've won 2 in a row in 8 of their last 10.
Texas Rangers, you can say the same thing. That team is on a roll right now.
They too have won 2 in a row in 8 of their last 10. They are 9 games over. Excuse me, they are 11 games over, 2 games up in the AL West. Russell Martin with a home run his last time up. That home run by Martin was the 30th home run the Blue Jays have hit in their last 18 games. So quietly they're starting to get their strokes back, and Russell himself has enjoyed a nice stretch over his last 8.
Looking a little bit more like the Blue Jays of 2015 offensively. The home run so prominent.
Heath Hembree strikes out Martin. 3 up, 3 down, go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead. Boston doesn't have a hit yet. Marco Marco Estrada is spinning a gem here at Fenway Park. He threw 26 pitches in the first inning and walked 2 men in the first inning. The Red Sox looking for their first hit of the ball game as Estrada has confused them all afternoon.
He also walked the leadoff batter in the second inning, and that's the last time that the Red Sox have had a base runner. He walked Hanley Ramirez to lead off the second inning, and that has been it. He has been pitching out of the windup ever since.
Marco Estrada's opponent's batting average into the 8th inning now stands at 163.
He has dropped that ERA down to 2.20.
Popped up right out in front of home. Matt Dominguez, he's been busy all afternoon catching these pop-ups, and he makes another catch. That's the first out of the bottom of the 8th.
How about Russell Martin on that one? You think he didn't want to get involved in that thing? This is where all the fielders, they want to help out their pitcher. They'll do anything to try and make a play. Russell came hard charging from behind the plate, but then was called off by Matt Dominguez.
5 pop-ups on the infield. High fastball. They
high fastball.
Chris Young 0 for 2. He drives this one deep to left, and that's going to break up the no-hitter and the shutout. Chris Young with his 4th home run jumps on that first pitch and hits it into the green monster seats, and that'll end the no-hit bid. 7 1/3 of no-hit ball. There goes the no-hitter. There goes the shutout.
Now you got to win the ball game, and that's going to be bring Pete Walker out to the mound for Marco Estrada. Marco's been in this situation before. He did it a couple of times last year. They wanted that cutter front door, and it ended up in the middle of the plate. Then Young puts it in the monster seats. Marco had the no-hitter against the Baltimore Orioles last year. That was broken up late. He also had that no-hitter against Tampa Bay that was broken up late. And now the best hitting team in the American League, it's their first hit off of Estrada in the 8th.
Pete Walker just out to help Estrada regroup after the disappointment of giving up that first hit of the ball game. Christian Vasquez fouls off the first pitch. Well, you mentioned those 2 previous outings in which he took a no-hitter deep into the game, into the 8th inning. June 19th, 2015, against the Orioles at Rogers Center, and his next start against Tampa Bay down in St. Pete. And in that game in St. Pete, he had a perfect game. And you remember that's where Josh Donaldson made that diving catch into the seats. And then Logan Forsythe got an infield hit.
Yeah, I was going to say one of those games, were stopped on an infield hit.
Line drive to right. Bautista on the move. What a catch. Jose Bautista caught that sinking line drive and then tumbled to the grass.
I told you, his teammates will do anything to help him out. Bautista made a nice play to end the 7th inning, last inning, and now makes one here to get the second out here in the 8th inning. Throws that glove down there and gives up his body to take the pounding as it hits the dirt. Bautista with a nice play.
Mookie Betts takes a first pitch strike. Oh, 0-2.
Jose Bautista got a good jump on this one. Watch his angle towards the ball. He went right to it, lands on the grass, makes a great play.
Mookie Betts strikes out, and Marco Estrada is through 8 innings. He loses the no-hitter and loses the shutout, but he can still smile as he's got a 5-1 lead.
Catching a game in the U.S., you can share all of those experiences as they happen, and there were many today. And with Roam Like Home from Rogers, you can use your phone exactly as you do at home, starting at $5 a day in the U.S. Go to Rogers.com/Roam Like Home for more details. Another fantastic weekend of Blue Jay fans on the road, Buck, and I'm sure they'll now be heading for home as soon as this game ends.
They have certainly been entertained. Here's some terrific baseball. Marco Estrada, he was a one-man show today. He gave up just one hit through 8 innings. Now they're having a conversation about how you feel, where you at.
Doesn't look like he's done.
No, I don't think so.
No, nobody's warming up. He's got that towel, the familiar towel around his arm. Clay Buchholz will pitch now for the Boston Red Sox. He is now in the bullpen after starting the season as a starter. Got knocked out. You can see his numbers. All of them are inflated, and that's why he is in the bullpen now.
Clay Buchholz, the author of a no-hitter himself in his rookie season. Michael Saunders, he might want to back up a little bit.
They've been pounding him in, haven't they?
They have kept it inside all afternoon.
They've got him in that shift where there's 3 infielders on the right side, and Bogarts is right at straightaway shortstop. Pitching him in.
Get that ground ball to Shaw, who was on the first base side of second. One down here in the top of the 9th. Heath Embry did a nice job for Boston. He went 2 1/3, did not allow a hit or a run, walked 1 and struck out 4. Blue Jays only have 4 hits. All 4 of those hits were home runs.
He had 4 hits yesterday and scored 4 runs.
Difference yesterday is 2 of their 4 runs were scored on a strikeout. Not exactly the kind of attack you want to put together on a regular basis. Devin Travis 0 for 3.
Devin has reached base, Buck, in every game that he has played in. That's 9. This is game number 10 since coming off his rehab assignment. Still trying to get on base for the first time this afternoon.
Fouls it right back in our direction. Thankfully, it was high. Roberto Osuna, he's cranking it up down in the bullpen. Roberto threw a little bit early in the game just to see how he was feeling. Strike 3 called. Buchholz gets Travis with the breaking ball.
You know, there's no question Clay Buchholz has outstanding stuff. He just hasn't been able to take it to the mound when he's a starter. Maybe going into the bullpen where you work an inning here or an inning there, you can find it. He's made 181 appearances for the Boston Red Sox. 178 of them have been starts. So John Farrell, he said it the other day here. He said, hey, we're going to skip our 5th starter till the 18th of this month. Somebody please take that job.
Pilar grounds out to the 3rd baseman. Clay Buchholz dispatches the Blue Jays in order here in the 9th. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Blue Jays trying to win the series here in Boston. They have a 5-1 lead. Marco Estrada looks like he's coming back out. Estrada has allowed just 1 hit through 8 innings. It was a solo home run with 1 out in the 8th inning to Chris Young. He has never thrown a complete game in the major leagues. His longest outing 8 2/3. Justin Smoke takes over defensively at first for Edwin Encarnacion. Dustin Pedroia. It'll be Pedroia, Bogaerts, and Ortiz. Doesn't get any tougher for the Blue Jays. 5-1 Blue Jays. Pedroia rips a base hit into left. Saunders will try to cut it off. Pedroia is headed for second. He'll get there standing up with a leadoff double. For Pedroia, that extends his personal hit streak against the Blue Jays. That makes it 26 straight. He has tied Jerry Remy for the all-time hit streak against the Blue Jays, and that's going to do it. As John Gibbons has made the call to the bullpen, Dustin Pedroia extends his hit streak in this at-bat here in the 9th.
That started back in September of 2014. He got 1 hit in each game. Marco Estrada is going to walk off with the game ball. What a masterful afternoon he had today.
Marco Estrada is developed into the Blue Jays ace, and the fans know it. What a terrific outing. Shutting down the best hitting team in baseball on just 1 hit. Goes 8 plus a batter. He gives up 2 hits. He gave up the home run to Chris Young and the leadoff double to Dustin Pedroia. 110 pitches. Marco looking for his 4th win of the season. Roberto Osuna. No swing, and Bogaerts barely got out of the way of that inside pitch.
Juan Farrell's coming out to ask if he was hit on that one more time. They wanted to go down and away, and this thing went up and in against Bogaerts, who throws the bat down. That is a scary, scary feel when you see that thing, especially as hard as Osuna throws.
Roberto Osuna not in a save situation here. His 26th appearance.
He has also worked in 6 of the last 8 ball games for the Blue Jays. We told you at the beginning there's been a lot of close games, so John Gibbons likes to go to his closer in these situations. 13 for 14 in save opportunities. He had a big one here on Friday night.
Yeah, he sure did. He was able to strike out Xander Bogaerts with the final pitch. A 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and that snapped Bogaerts' long hit streak.
He had to work an inning and a third in that game. against the Red Sox. He threw a lot of pitches, but he had plenty left in the tank to finish off Bogarts.
Popped up. Another pop-up on the infield. Evan Travis calls for it. Makes the catch. David Ortiz, after his last at bat, throws the batting gloves into the seats to give a young fan a terrific memory. And how about that? He shares it with his sister. That's pretty awesome. Look at the smile on those faces.
That is so awesome. David Ortiz saying there's no hits in those gloves. I'm getting rid of them.
Ortiz 0 for 3 so far. First pitch strike. Even though it's not a save situation, when you have this part of the order coming up here in the 9th in Fenway, you go to Osuna.
The last thing you want to do is get the crowd back into a ball game. Get the Red Sox thinking that they have a shot at winning this game. You want to stop it right here. So you bring in your best reliever. John Gibbons isn't worrying about who's got so many stats and piling up. He's thinking about wins. That's the only stat he's worried about.
The Blue Jays looking for their 5th straight series win. The turnaround began in Minnesota. Coincidental with Bautista being placed into the leadoff spot in the batting order. The Blue Jays have improved every aspect of their game over the last 16 games. The defense has been great.
Yeah.
Starting pitching, bullpen has gotten good. And the hitting has come around. 30 home runs in their last 18 games. Ortiz drills this one. That is going to score a run. Pedroia's around third. He's going to jog in. Ortiz will jog into second. 26 doubles for David Ortiz. RBI number 54.
That gets hit streak up to 13 games and closes the book on Marco Estrada. That run as Pedroia scores is charged to Estrada. David Ortiz can still turn on a fastball. Osuna challenged him on the inner half with that fastball, and the big man can still get the head out. Another double. What is that, 501 now as a Red Sox?
Might be 502. And he gives way to the pinch runner. Nick Castillo was just called up from AAA Pawtucket before this game. Here's where it gets interesting. Travis Shaw batting with 1 out. Osuna never gets rattled. Gives up the RBI double to Ortiz. Comes right back, throws strike 1 to Shaw. Inside corner. For David Ortiz, that double tied him for the 3rd most ever with Jim Rice in doubles in this ballpark. What a career. 1-2 now to Shaw.
That RBI also tied him with Rice for the 3rd most ever here at Fenway Park. 802 RBIs.
Osuna strikes out Shaw. 2 down. So Marco Estrada's line is complete. He goes 8 innings plus a batter, gives up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 3 and struck out 5. He was terrific. His ERA now at 2.41 for the season. He's in line for his 4th win.
How about the first 2 batters of the ball game? He walked both of them. And it looked like, well, it might not be Marco's day, but he rebounded quickly. And he is in line for another win.
Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez drew a leadoff walk in the 2nd. Estrada retired 19 in a row at one point. After the Ramirez walk in the second, went all the way to 1 out in the 8th. He was terrific.
19 in a row. Yeah, that curveball working. I thought his cutter was really good today. It had a little bit of extra on it, and it was moving. Put it in a good spot.
Estrada flirting with another no-hitter. Third time he's done that since he's come to the Blue Jays. And I'm sure there was a point if he wondered if he was ever going to be a major league pitcher. Now he's wondering if he's ever going to throw a no-hitter. He has really developed into a terrific pitcher. Fly ball to deep center. Pilar's on the run. This one is over his head off the wall. He barehands it and throws it back to second. The pinch runner comes in to score. Hanley Ramirez with an RBI double.
There's the first extra base hit for Hanley Ramirez since May the 15th. And he put a charge into that thing. Fastball away from Osuna and Hanley Ramirez. They've been jamming him with fastballs. This time it's away. And he gets all of it right out into that 420 Bermuda Triangle, if you will, in center field. Scores Castillo, and the Red Sox never say die. Red Sox bring the tying run to the plate.
How about that play Pilar made? If that ball gets past him, Ramirez ends up at third. But he barehanded it off the wall and got it back in quickly. So now Jackie Bradley Jr. steps to the plate representing the tying run. Pete Walker with a brief visit to the mound, and now the rain has picked up here.
He's got one thing on his mind. That swing right there, he was trying to tie up the ball game. The outfielders are very deep, especially Kevin Pilar in center field. Nothing over your head, because Bradley's the tying run.
Osuna reaching back for a little extra.
Just like he did here on Friday. That last pitch he had the other day against Bogarts was 99, and it was a high fastball.
One got away from him there. It's 1-2. The Blue Jays are 8-3 through this 12-game stretch against the Yankees in Boston.
That's his best pitch right there, that fastball. He's trying to go upstairs with it.
Breaking ball, line drive into right. That's going to score a run. Here comes Ramirez. It's a one-run ball game. He went to the slider.
And that's why I said that's his best pitch. He's going upstairs with it, because I don't think Jackie Bradley could catch up to his fastball. You never want to get beat with your second best pitch. And Roberto's best pitch is the fastball. He blew a couple of them by him. Threw a breaking ball, and Bradley singles into right field. That's his 38th RBI. A pitch that was down, really the only place he could go down and get. Singles into right field, and now they've got some speed on first base in the tying run.
Chris Young got it started for the Red Sox as he homered with 1 out in the 8th inning. That was the first Boston hit of the afternoon. Jackie Bradley 4 for 4 in steals. Base hit to left. Saunders getting over, trying to cut it off. They'll stop Bradley at second. And the tying runs in scoring position. So Chris Young, a home run and a base hit in his last 2 at-bats.
We've seen 2 pitches. It was hacking right away. Michael Saunders, you can see he's deep. He doesn't want to get this ball, get by him for extra bases. Cuts it off, and he stops Jackie Bradley Jr. at second base.
So now it'll be a pinch hitter. Batting for the catcher, Christian Vasquez. Marco Hernandez. Hernandez is 0 for 2 against Osuna, and he is a free swinger. First pitch hitting. Takes one downstairs.
That one a little bit harder at 98.
What's difficult now for the outfielders, if there's a base hit, it's been raining now for about an inning, and that ball will be wet.
It could scoot on that wet turf also.
Two balls and no strikes. Things are never easy at Fenway Park. Mookie Betts on deck. Now 3-1.
He's got to take 2 pitches, doesn't he?
You would think.
You would think against Osuna.
But if you send him up there as a pinch hitter, I think you want to let him hit. I think they'll let him swing.
Let him swing away?
There's 2 outs. You can't really tie his hands in this situation. You got to let him swing. He was swinging. Well, now it's a full count, and this really puts pressure on the Blue Jays defense. Bradley from second, he'll be off on the pitch. Young from first, he too will be running. Bradley represents the tying run. Young at first is the winning run.
It also puts a little pressure on the infield. You mentioned the grass being a little bit wet. There's no easy play in the middle of the diamond. If there's a ground ball, we're going to have to make that throw across the diamond to first base.
3-2. Fouled off. We'll do it again. The rubber match of this 3-game series comes down to the final strike. Typical Boston Blue Jay baseball.
Back and forth and back and forth. A lot of one-run games. Osuna trying to figure out how to get Hernandez out.
Time is called. Hernandez trying to wipe the rain off his bat. Got him. That's the ball game. The Blue Jays win the series. That's 5 straight series wins for the Blue Jays, and they cut the Red Sox lead over them to 2.5 games.
And it was a nail biter right down to the end, like they normally are here at Fenway Park. Marco Estrada was outstanding. The Blue Jays' big bats come through, but Roberto Osuna has to do it one more time, striking out a runner or a batter with a couple of runners on base, and the Blue Jays take a big series on the road against the Boston Red Sox.
The Blue Jays finish up their 12 games against the Yankees and the Red Sox 9-3. We'll see you tomorrow night from Detroit. Stay tuned. Here's Jamie and Greg.